Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Ulster County Executive Mike Hine and the Ulster County Economic Development Alliance, welcome. We're pleased you could join us for this third and final installment of our three-part webinar series for restaurant owners and managers focused on growing your business and increasing profits. Before we get started, just a few logistical items. Anyone who's new to the GoToWebinar platform, I'll point out some key features. By now, if you can hear me, you've figured out how to join the audio portion of the webinar, and your registration confirmation email contained a link that would also allow you to follow along on your computer as we move through the presentation contents. You should see our title slide up now, and as we begin, you'll see us move through the slides as our presenter, Janet, speaks. As we move through, note that all of the participants will be in a listen-only mode. This prevents background noise from interfering with the audio portion of the presentation. If you have a question, please use the chat feature in the GoToWebinar panel. The panel can be hidden or expanded using the small red button with a white arrow that's probably in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Your questions will come through to us, and at several points during the presentation or at the end, we'll give pause and we'll give some responses to those questions. At the end of the session, we'll open it up for any remaining questions, and we'll unmute your line so you can speak up then. We'll conclude by 11 a.m. Now I'm happy to introduce our local restaurant expert and presenter, Janet Irizarry. Janet is a business consultant who specializes in restaurants. She works with existing businesses to help solve the problems they're facing and works with new businesses to get them up and running and avoid the costly mistakes that are often made by first-time restaurant entrepreneurs. She has a track record of over 35 years of owning and operating successful restaurants, has written several industry white papers, and is a contributing columnist for the food, wine, and spirits section of the Hudson Valley News Network. In her spare time, she volunteers for Duchess Outreach's Lunchbox program and is involved with Rescuing Leftover Cuisine, both local organizations dedicated to feeding the hungry in our community. Today's third session, our final session, focuses on the importance of connecting with your community. Janet has put together a highly informative and practical presentation that we hope will give you some tangible steps to take as your restaurant business becomes even more successful. And today we're thrilled to have our own Rick Remsnyder, Director of Ulster County Tourism, here too. Rick will talk a little bit about the programs his office can offer to help local restaurants get the word out. Now I'm happy to turn the mic over to Janet. Janet, thanks for putting today's session together.
Well, Tim, it is really exciting to be back here for our last scheduled webinar in the series. I think it's so great that you offer resources such as this webinar to your business owners in Ulster County. It also shows the commitment you have to making sure that they have all their tools needed to be successful. So on behalf of myself and all the restaurant owners, I want to thank the Ulster County Economic Alliance and the County Executive Mike Hine for hosting the series and helping the restaurant owners in the area with new ways to improve their business. I'm also very excited to have Rick Remsnyder, Director of Ulster County Tourism here today to help you with this webinar. We talked in our first webinar series about how Ulster County attracts so many people to the area. And today, Rick is going to speak to us on how their office can help you gain exposure to the tourist sector. As a quick review, in our first webinar, I gave you 10 steps that you could start implementing right away to start improving your business and increasing profits. We did this by talking about ways to control theft, waste, payroll, controlling bad reviews, and making changes to your menu. Then we talked about actively attracting new business to your restaurant. In our second webinar, we focused on strategies to increase your visibility on the internet. I gave you strategies to optimize your online presence. This included getting positive reviews from your customers, optimizing your website, and how to use social media effectively. Today, it's one of my favorite topics. It's increasing sales by building strong customer and community relationships. And it's about increasing your ability to go out, meet people through networking. And once you have brought in new customers to your restaurant, finding ways to stay in touch with them so they become repeat business. For those of you just joining us, up on the screen you're going to see my resume, which spans over 40 years of experience in the restaurant business. Today, as a restaurant consultant, I help restaurant owners I work with marketing and attracting new customers, and also by solving the problems that might be hurting their business financially. Basically, everything we have discussed in the webinars, or will discuss, everything I talked to you about today is from my personal experience, and I have used them on my own businesses. I have used them with the businesses I work with. They work for me, they work for them, and they will work for you. So, with that in mind, let's get started. We've got a lot to cover. Increasing sales by building strong community relationships. How many of you spend all your time in your restaurant business and never get out? Every day when you get to work, what do? You go to work, and you ever come out of your business? Maybe to go and run for something that you need at the store, or maybe the bank. Well, if that's what you're doing, then you're missing really, really great opportunities to make money. There's a whole world out there, and they're waiting to meet you. There are so many potential customers out there that want to hear from you. Networking. So let's talk about networking. Where do you go to find those people who are looking for your business? Networking. And what is networking? Business networking is going out and making new business and personal connections with the intent of bringing in a regular supply of new customers. If you're not out networking, you're not getting to know the business people out there who can help build your business. And you're doing both yourself and the business an injustice. First off, don't you deserve to get out? Really? Don't you deserve to have some fun? Don't you deserve to get some fresh air and learn new ideas? Don't you sometimes feel captive in the four walls of your restaurant? I know I used to. That doesn't make you feel good. On the business side, you're missing countless opportunities to form relationships that can continually bring you a new business. Now, there are networking events that happen all over Ulster County every week, and in a minute I'm going to share with you some of the places that you can find the opportunities to go out and find people who could be potential new customers. At these events, you are able to have one-on-one conversations and become the face and personality of your business. Let's go over some real, the value of networking and the best benefits for you to network. Obviously, you're going to increase your exposure. You're going to meet new people, and the more people that you know, the more people know you. And with that in mind, when they're thinking of a place to go out and dine, there's more chance that you're going to be on top of their mind. You know what? To me, it's a really helpless feeling waiting in your restaurant for people to come find you. And just to give you a new lease on life and feel like you're moving your business forward to get out is a great thing. So go out and find the business. Another great reason to network is to learn about how others run their business. A lot of these networking events I'm going to tell you about are filled with other business owners. And whether they're a restaurant owner or not, all business owners have the exact same challenges. It's hard to find help. You know, I could go on and on. Besides hard to get help, they find the challenges of having to work all the time, trying to figure out how to market. When you go out to these events, you can get new ideas. You can feel better that you're not the only person who's having these difficulties, but it's a way to, you want to say, learn and then also commiserate with others and help grow your business. And once you go back to your business, you can start implementing some of the things that you may have learned. It's also to form relationships with other venues. Now, going out and networking is to build trust and have people like you and become your customers. But there's also a real value to finding vendors that you trust and like and building relationships with them. Let's say you need a new air conditioning guy or you need someone to help you with your printing. Isn't it much better to use someone that you've known and had, once again, we're talking face-to-face contact, and that's building trust and relationships. The other reason to use someone in a business networking situation as a vendor to your business is that they're more likely to frequent your business and use your business when you've already hired them. And there's nothing like using a vendor and enjoying his work, and then when he comes in with his family, you treat him like gold, and he feels like such a big shot that he automatically tells all his friends about your restaurant. It's that word of mouth marketing. And once again, with networking, you got to realize that it's not about building a relationship on a one-shot deal. It's a slow growth, just like you make your good friends, right? First you might have gone out to coffee with them, and then you might have met them somewhere else, and you slowly have conversations with them that allow you to get to know them better and to build trust. So you can find great people to help you with your business. Fourth, to uncover hot buttons. You're sitting at a networking event, and the waitress comes over and she goes, "Can I get you guys anything?" And you order, and she walks away, and one person at the table says, "I hate when they approach a table. Hey guys." First of all, the women at the table always feel uncomfortable. Can't they come up with something a little bit more original? That's a hot button. You just found out what customers don't like. Now you can take that back to your restaurant and make sure your staff becomes a little bit more original with how they greet a guest. And there's plenty of hot buttons to uncover. Another reason, and we talked about this before, here's the thing about networking. You have to go out and do it. You have to take time out and, yes, get out of your business. This is a big one. It's an excuse for you to get out of your restaurant and for you to socialize. Take a breather, clear your head, and you're going to be amazed how different your four walls will feel when you return. There are rules of networking, and we're going to go through that because we're here to make a good impression. The first one is that you want to be prepared. And what I mean by being prepared is, of course, you want to have a lot of business cards because you're going to want to hand them out. Two, you're going to want to have other collateral, not necessarily with you, but ready to go if someone should ask for it. And we're going to go into what you need in just a couple minutes. But you might also, being prepared might also mean looking at who else is attending and figure out who you want to kind of focus your efforts on and strike up a conversation with. Who in that audience is the person that can help build your business? And you can actually also have questions already prepared so you don't feel so uncomfortable striking up those conversations. You got to be a good listener, and this is part of going back of making a good first impression. When you go to networking events, it's not all about you. It's all about other people and having them like you. First off, let me just explain one thing. Immediately being a restaurant owner, you have a real advantage at these networking events because people for some reason just like restaurant owners. You're likable. For some reason, you go in and you already have celebrity status. So people are going to want to talk to you. The other thing you're going to find at these networking events is that there's a lot of, and nothing wrong with this, we all need accountants, we all need bankers, we all need insurance agencies. But, however, there's a lot of these usually at the networking events, and their days are pretty much the same every day. A restaurant owner always has something new going on, and people are always curious to find out. So everyone goes out to eat, so you have a captive audience. They want to hear from you. They want to know more, and that's another reason why you need to be prepared. Next, you have to make sure you keep your promises. If you meet someone at a networking event and they ask you about your catering, and you say that you're going to get them a catering menu, make sure you get them a catering menu. If you're in conversation with someone, and once again, when you're networking, conversation goes so many different ways. And maybe someone is just talking about that they can never find a good accountant. And you know a perfect accountant, but you don't have his information with you at the time. If you say that you're going to connect the two of them together, then make sure you follow through, because nothing's going to break trust more than not following up. Next, follow up and stay in touch. Well, anyone you meet at a networking event and you've had a conversation with and you you've taken their card, make sure the next day you take the time to write them a personal email. And once again, it can be very simple. Hey, Jim, it was great meeting you and learning about your business. I look forward to meeting you at the next networking event. The other thing, if you've had more of a detailed conversation, then get a little more granular. Say, wow, I really thought that was interesting about blah, blah, blah. I look forward to hearing more. Or maybe you want to come by for lunch one day and we can talk about it. But make that connection. Once again, networking is about little touches, just like making a friendship. You need to have a lot of little touches to make the person feel comfortable with you. So let's talk about where to network. First off, Chamber of Commerce. Ulster County has a great Chamber of Commerce, and a Chamber of Commerce is a place that promotes businesses. It's exactly where you want to go and where you're going to find other business owners to speak with. And they want to grow your business. I am not sure, Tim, how many members of your chamber you have, but I'm going to say 200-300 people.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing to get out and meet each of those businesses and start forming relationships. I find that, and you'll probably agree with me, that you do have people part of the chamber, however, they don't take time to attend these events. And once again, going back to the fact that people love to hear from a restaurant owner, the fact that restaurant owners don't normally attend these events makes you even more popular. So I really, take advantage of the chamber. I know you can go to a meeting and not have to, you can go as a guest a few times. And then, I just talked to you about how to be comfortable because the word networking might scare you. But if you go through those 4 steps about the rules of networking, it should make it a lot easier. Meetup groups. Meetup groups are actually all around the globe in all little towns, and and you don't have to join a meetup group that has to do with the restaurant business or business in general. Joining a meetup group, meetup groups are places where people with common interests meet for an evening and just to discuss and learn more about whatever their interest is. It's just a common connection. It could be a hobby of yours, but getting out and meeting people and forming that kind of relationship can be just a great boost to your business. You never know what a simple hello is going to lead you. And if you're sitting with a bunch of people who also like skiing like you do, and the subject of restaurants come up, or a subject of whatever comes up, and the more common interest you have with someone, obviously, the more trust you're going to build, and you're going to build a friendship, and it's going to encourage them to come to your business. So if you're interested in learning more, because I don't want to get crazy with this, but you should look into it, go to www.meetup.com. So meetup.com. The next place is, for those, some people might be familiar and others might not, is BNI groups. That's Business Networking International, and there are tons of chapters all over the Hudson Valley, and these are networking groups that are referral based. Only one person from a profession is allowed to be in each chapter. There are lots of chapters in the county, so if there's no restaurant owner in a chapter, you can fill the space, and no other restaurant owner is allowed into the group. They meet once a week in the early morning, and it's a place to get to build strong relationships that help promote your business for you. They essentially become your sales force. Essentially, they are going to help you market your business because they're going to trust you, they're going to like you, and hopefully they're also going to become your customer. And once again, if you're interested in that, go to www.bni.com. I know there's one in Kingston, there's one in New Paltz, and you don't have to stay in the county. You can go wherever you want to elicit more business. Let's talk about building business partnerships next. And I'm going to ask you to take a halt and stop. Before you do anything, you need to make sure you're prepared, before you make these partnerships, what does that mean? You need to have information ready to go if someone might ask for it. And in a second, we're going to be talking to Rick from Ulster Tourism, and I'm sure he's going to want you to have these materials available when he works with you. So what do you need to be prepared? First of all, you have to have paper menus that you can distribute and put out. You need to have the catering menus, because especially if you're dealing with someone like the tourism and they're bringing in tour groups, the first thing the tour group is going to want to know is how much it's going to cost, what you have to offer, and you need to have these ready to go at a drop of the hat. Plus catering menus, when you're in the networking events, people are going to ask you for them, and you need to have them ready to go and looking professional. Next is, of course, plenty of business cards to go around. I suggest postcards because they're really easy. They're really easy marketing tool to hand out, whether it's just about your business. You can offer a discount on them as you hand them to any of the business partners that you're working with. And then, of course, you need a great website. We talked about this in previous webinars, that once you work with the tourism board and once you meet people at these networking events, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go back and check you out online. And if you don't have the information easily available to them on the website, then they're just going to go right past you and say, next. It's true. All right, so let's talk about working with tourism and travel organizations. I am very pleased to have, to help me out with this, Rick Snyder.
Got it.
Yes,
got it.
I got it. Wow. I don't know why that should be so difficult to me. We talked, Rick, just to give you a little past information, we did talk in a past webinar about how much revenue tourists bring into Ulster County. And for all these reasons and more, it's over $500 million.
Correct.
And I've been saying that if each restaurant could just get 1/10,000th of that, that's, how much is that? Over $52,000. I think every single restaurant owner could use an extra $52,000 in their annual sales. So I'm going to turn this over to you, and I want to thank you for being here. And
great. Well, thank you, Janet, and thank you, Tim, for inviting me. I have to say, all this discussion is getting me really hungry.
We'll go after lunch after.
I only had a yogurt for breakfast this morning, so at 11, this is going to be over 11:02, I'm going to have to go get something to eat.
Well, there's lots of great restaurants in Ulster County.
Well, absolutely. Well, good morning, everyone, and you can see we have a picture of one of our brand new restaurants on the webinars here is the Wood Notes Grill and Mount Tremper. Let me tell you what, and thank you for getting those figures right on $532 million. That is right. It's tourism spending in Ulster County in 2015 was $532 million. And a big part of that, and we recognize this, is the wonderful restaurant businesses that we have and all the income and revenue that they generate. And our office, which is run by County Executive Mike Heim, we're under his leadership, really has realizes the significance of tourism. And one of the things that our office focuses on is what we can do to help tourism businesses, and specifically this morning, restaurants. There's a number of ways that we can do that. Before I get into that, I just want to piggyback on one of the things that Janet said about getting out there and networking and meeting people and all the terrific ideas that she had. I know how busy restaurateurs are, okay? And I agree with you 100%. I go to a lot of meetings, and there's nothing that I like more than some of the chamber events at 5 o'clock in a nice restaurant.
Right, exactly.
Amazing how it draws a big crowd. But what I've noticed in my almost 11 years as a tourism director is to have a successful restaurant, I believe, you have to have more than good food. I mean, that's number one, first and foremost. But you have to be out there somehow promoting it. I'll give you an example. Normally, I don't like to get into pointing out specific restaurants, but I will say this. There are some people who have very successful restaurants in this area, and in addition to having great food, these people know how to market themselves, and they're out there, and they understand that it's an important part of their business. Frank Guido from Mariners. He has a number of restaurants he's had throughout not only Ulster County, but Dutchess County and the region. Frank is always out there. He does a certain amount of advertising. They have rack cards. I think this is an important part of your business if you can afford it. Marcus Giuliani of Roma Time Bistro in Ellenville. He's a wonderful restaurant, and he's on top of social media. And he not only promoting his restaurant, but as I was mentioning to Janet and Tim before, he's also very involved in promoting his community. So I think that will only benefit your restaurant. John Novi, I'm sure most of you have heard about John, Greek Canal House. He's been around here for a number of years and has a very successful restaurant. And John has always been involved in the community and promoting his restaurant and High Falls. Rick Orlando, New World. He's another man that understands that you have to be to promote your business. It's about you folks. You know, don't be bashful about promoting your business. And one more, our visitor center is down in the Strand, so right across from 20 Broadway is Savona's, and Steve Savona is another person who has, in the last 5 to 10 years in his family, has really worked hard to grow the business. And Janet made a great point. If you're just starting out or you're in the business, don't feel shy about contacting these individuals and saying, geez, you know, I think you really do a great job. Can you help me? I'm sure they'd be more than willing to give you a little bit of their time.
But they didn't get who they were from not getting out there. It wasn't just their food. It's because they marketed themselves and became the face of the business.
No question.
Right.
That's a great point, the face of the business. Like a lot of people, when I mention New World or whatever, they go, oh, Rick Orlando. I've seen him on TV. What was the show that he was Chopped, right? He was on that, and he's gotten to not only a local but a national audience. So that's something I think very important. Let's talk a little bit about what our office can do for you. I don't know, how do we go to the next slide?
Just like that, great. Just with a push of a button. We have technology.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is our travel guide. We've been in the business of not only promoting restaurants but the region. So what we're doing, we have a 68-page full-color guide, okay? What we found in the past, it's really difficult to list every restaurant in our travel guide. So in the past, what we've done and what we're going to be doing this spring is putting out a new shopping and dining guide. Our office will be contacting you to get information from you. We'll have, we know you're busy, but I think it's worth your time when we contact you. We're going to put out a publication. It's going to be free. It's going to be free publicity for you. So please, when we reach out to us, if you're busy at that time, say, call me back. One of our staff will be happy to call you back. But what we'll need is we have a little bit of information already on our website, but we'd love to have more pictures. We'd love to have the most up-to-date information going. So I think we go to the next slide then. Okay. Right now we have just a wonderfully redesigned website, and one of the most, it's ulstercountyalive.com. Now, what I'm hoping is that each and every one of you is on our website and we have a wonderful picture of your restaurant. If we don't, after this presentation, please take 30 seconds, go to ulstercountyalive.com, go to, right now you're seeing where it says play, stay, and eat. Hit that second one. I don't think it's going to come up when you hit it, Jan,
It definitely won't.
but it's a little static. But you go to that eat section, make sure that your restaurant is there and the information is accurate. If not, there's a link at the end, information where you can contact us. Better yet, I'll give you my personal email. It's rrem@co.ulster.ny.us. Nice and short and sweet. But there's the link at the end of our website.
Can they use this too? Is that?
Yes, we can also do tourism@co.ulster.ny.us. That's probably better.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yes. So
and they can see it and write it down right now.
Yeah.
It will be in one of the slide sets I send them.
Perfect. And they can call the 800 number and get me or my staff. So what we would like to do is make sure we have the most up-to-date information about your restaurant, because we have on average 25,000 visitors a month to come to our website. And what's one of the first things people want to know that they can do?
Eat and drink.
Exactly. In addition to our website, there's a lot of different ways that we work with restaurateurs, particularly on social media. As Janet has gone over how important social media is. We can not only, what we can do that I think is really helpful is that if you have a special, if you have something going on, we got the holiday season coming up, we'll be happy if you have something on your website, we'll be happy to share it with on our website. We would also post it. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, anything like that. If you have something going on, it only takes a minute to shoot us an email or share something on Facebook, and we'll be happy to get the information out to everybody that's visiting our website. There's another way that we can help you is we work very closely with I Love New York, and the advertising agency is Finn Partners. I can't tell you how many times that Finn is contacting us saying, hey, is there something going on in a restaurant in Ulster County that's a little different, a little quirky, you know, a special event? And I Love New York, certainly it's the official agency for the state of New York, and they'll be happy to push that information out. Here's another way that a lot of restaurants have found this very helpful to them, and it's been helpful to us. We have travel writers coming into the county all the time. People love to visit Ulster County. You saw the numbers. Right? So one of the ways that restaurants can get free and high visible publicity is when we have travel writers coming into the area. We'd love to be able to take them to a nice restaurant, and hopefully they will. We would love it if you could help us a little bit with the food price. Complimentary would be nice. If that's not possible, we will work with you on that. But we have had so many travel writers come to this area in the last 10 years or so that I've been the tourism director, and it's a great list. We've had writing about the region, writing about the county, writing about the restaurants, writing about a town. New York Times, Daily News, New York Post, Newsday. This is all in the past couple of years. Hartford Courant, Huffington Post, Epic Times, Getaway Mavens, Boating World. So you get the picture. People, travel writers like to come up, they like to write about how beautiful the county is, all the different attractions, all the different properties we have, but one thing in a full day, they need to eat. And we'd love to be able to take them to a nice restaurant, and they can write about it. How am I doing on my 15 minutes there? Am I doing okay? All right. Janet told me that some of you might be interested in Yeah, you can hit that next slide. Perfect timing. That's exactly where I was headed. The idea of growing your business through group tours. This is a great way to bring a normal busload of folks would be 40 to 45. And for lunch, for dinner, restaurant owners ask me, well, how do I get that type of business first and then on a continuing basis? Well, we work with some really great partners in the group tour industry. One of them is Hudson River Valley Tours. I'm going to give you their website. It's run by Anita Peck, who was the principal owner of the Williams Lake Resort. Also, Kathy Ellis, who used to be the group sales coordinator for our office for a number of years. She's fantastic. And Ernie Bruno, who has a great reputation in the restaurant field in Dutchess County. If you're looking to if you'd like to bring people to your restaurant, and the location is key. I know that the group tour business has done really well bringing group tour buses to areas like downtown Kingston, because what do group tours like to do? They like to go to places where there's something happening. Like how about the Rip Van Winkle? So the boat ride. So I know they've worked very closely with Hudson River Valley Tours to bring buses. But no matter where you're located, I know that they had a group, a number of buses come into Rosendale this past summer because the group tour business brought a couple busloads, I think it was 3 or 4 busloads one afternoon to go to see a play in the Rosendale Theater. So they saw the play in the morning, they went and had lunch in Rosendale in the afternoon. So it's good, and what you need to do, it's not going to happen unless you reach out to them and say, look, we're interested in having bus tours come to our restaurant. We'll give them a nice lunch. We'll give them a nice dinner. We'll give them some sort of discount.
But there also talks that you need to be prepared for that, and
yes.
You also find out what the tourist groups are looking for, because tour groups normally want to get in and out in a timely manner. They want a good price.
Absolutely.
And they want good service. So those are things that you really have to work on and be able to give so that you get the repeat business and that they're interested in coming to you, right?
No question. That's key. Let me give you the website is hrvtours.com. And oh, by the way, if please feel free to follow up with me, my office. Happy to help you coordinate with the group tour operators. And this is something that could be a big part of your business. Also, I touched just a little bit about what I think you have to be doing to be successful. And I know not everybody has a huge advertising budget, okay? But there are ways, there's economical ways to push out your message. First of all, you mentioned paper minis. That's a great idea. Bring them to the visitor center. Our visitor center in Kingston, we'll be happy to put them out in the visitor center. We'll be happy. We have them on the first floor of the county office building. We have a tourism office. We're happy to put them out there for you. We have a caboose on the New York State Thruway, Kingston Circle. When people come in, the first place I think a lot of them like to stop is at the caboose to get some information, our travel guide and all kinds of information. Love to have menus there for people. Hey, where can we eat? And so that's something that's important.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Going back to the chamber, is someone from the tourism office at chamber meetings where they might bump into it and form that connection? And that's what I'm saying about networking.
Absolutely. My deputy, Fran DiPetrillo Savoca, actually worked for the Ulster County Regional Chamber for 10 years. I stole her from Ward Todd because she was so good. So Fran and I are there just about every breakfast meeting. We're also at the mixers, and I think you touched on that. Very important. Not only the Ulster County Chamber, there's other chambers in the county too. There's the New Paltz, if you're in New Paltz or Highland, whatever.
I'm going to an event there today.
Yeah, New Paltz Regional Chamber is great. We have the Southern Ulster Chamber in that part of the county. So there's the Ellenville Warsing Chamber. They all have events. The Well, there's the ESOPUS has changed, the ESOPUS Alliance. So go on the website, find these places, and get out there and push the word. One final thing I will mention is that we work very closely with Destinations in New York and Saugerties. Charlie Daly is the CEO. He offers, we've had in the spring and the fall group tour shows. I went to one in Syracuse in October. That, if you're interested in group tour business, that is something that you would consider going to those shows. It's Destinations in New York again. The website is donys.com. And they also distribute materials on the New York State Thruway. We distribute our travel guide, our hiking guide, and we pass this dining guide, which we'll do again. If you have a rack card, you may want to consider having some. It's a very affordable rate. And people are coming up from New York City, and he has 3 visitor centers where they push this out, and there's a lot of traffic in the New York State Thruway. So that's a great way to get your message out, because there's a ton of people that come through these visitor centers. So that's kind of a thumbnail sketch of what we do. I know we got limited time, so
yeah, I think we got to move on so we get off. But this information is so valuable, and I think we all got the point about networking also. I'm sitting here with Rick right now. He's a great, nice guy, and I'm sure everyone in his office is just the same. So whoever you meet at a networking event, they want to talk to you because you're giving back something to them. They need you. So start getting out there and look for Rick or anyone in his office, and or contact him directly.
And Rick, if you can stick around a little bit, when we're done, we'll do questions, and maybe we'll have some questions, and you can give some of your contact info again at the end.
Absolutely.
Great, thanks.
Okay, so building business relationships, how to capitalize on local businesses. We've talked about offering catering and different kinds. You might think for these tour groups like box lunches instead of a regular lunch. If you can do something like that, be creative. You want to cross-market with complementary businesses. Look for businesses that may be a movie theater that you can do a dinner and a show type offer with. Welcome new businesses into the neighborhood. So when you know a new business is coming in, why don't you be the first to be on their doorstep and offer to host a welcome to the neighborhood party, or grand opening, or bring them some sandwiches. Touch them first. Let them know that you're there, because that is going to make them feel welcome, and they're more apt to want to do business with you later on. And get involved with nonprofits. We talked about this. I mean, not only for the reason that you should be involved in your community and giving back, but it's a great way of building a strong relationship and trust and promoting PR. And people want more than ever. They want to do business with people they trust. And what better way to gain trust than to be working in the community? Some statistics: 90% of consumers would switch to a brand supporting a good cause. That's pretty significant. And 85% of millennials correlate their purchasing power to responsible efforts of a company. So it's really, there's just so many benefits of stepping away from your business and realizing there's other people out there who could use your services, and in turn can make you gain more customers. And once again, it doesn't have to be, we have restaurant owners are bombarded on a day-to-day basis with people coming in and saying, can I have a gift certificate for this, a gift certificate for that? That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about either hosting events, going out and volunteering with your staff to help work things, but really finding the cause that you feel comfortable with and being part of it. So if you need help figuring out ways to get involved with a nonprofit, please give me a call, and I'm happy to do so. Not only will you be doing something good for your community, you'll also make yourself feel good, I guarantee it. So we're going to go through this quickly. Getting referrals from local hotels, which is very big. We're talking about tourism again. And there's some ways you can build those relationships. One is I would first invite the sales manager or concierge to your restaurant. Comp them, bring them in, because if they're talking about you and they love you, they're going to tell your customers about them, and they're going to want to refer them to you. Give the hotel gift cards. Maybe you can get a special gift card of $10, and you can hand out to the concierge and sales manager, and when they recommend your restaurant as a little bonus incentive, give them $10 off for a free appetizer. Offer your hotel employees a discount also, which is great because not only when the employees come in and they enjoy and feel like they've been taken care of, they also more than likely live in the area, and they have friends and family too that look for places to go out. Get the concierge and sales manager on your email list so you can send them promotions you're doing, special events, so they can stay on top of your business and know what customers can expect. Maybe there's a wine dinner going on, and so when someone comes to the desk and say, where can I go tonight? And the concierge can say, well, do you like wine? Because I know blah, blah, blah is doing a great wine dinner. So keep them on top of whatever you're doing. And mostly make the hotel look good. You have to take care of their customers. So when the customer comes back to their hotel, the concierge or the sales manager feels great that they really did you a solid. The last thing they want to do is have a customer come back and bitch about the restaurant they just went to. They're not sending anyone else to you if that's what you're doing. I know we're running out of time, so I want to talk about building customer relationships. Now that we got customers come in, you got to stay in touch with them. So email marketing, I'm going to tell you, your email list, your customer database is king. 3 reasons email marketing is so powerful. 1, it's inexpensive. The most expensive thing is your time, and I strongly suggest if you don't have the time to do it, you hire someone to help you with it. It's a direct line to your customers. Once again, we talked about Facebook and how they kind of figure out when you post something who it's relevant to. So not everyone sees it. When you do an email directly into someone's inbox, and they're more apt to open it because people spend so much time on their emails these days, and when they see something, I have that little picture on the side because I feel like it's the next best thing than calling your customers and saying, hey, you know, it's Taco Tuesday, are you coming down? We got great margaritas to go with it. If you can send them an email, that's great. You don't want to abuse it. Once a week is plenty, twice a month. It also integrates easily into social media, and we talk about doing social media we talk about doing marketing campaigns. People are in different places at different times, and there's nothing better. They kind of play upon each other to make the marketing campaign more successful when you can tie into all the platforms at one time. If you're wondering what to do as far as email campaigns, first of all, on the right-hand side, this is how you get people to sign up in your restaurant. You'll also want a button on your website. You can talk about menu items. You can talk about special events. Mother's Day is coming up, or no, let's say New Year's Eve is coming up. Why wait for a customer to think of you? Why not send something to them so they have no choice but to think of you when they're trying to decide where to go to New Year's? You know, you're busy, but customers are busy too, and they really like things to be simple. And if you come to them, it can be simpler. Send out birthday cards. On this sign-up sheet I have right here, there's room for a birthday. That way you can send them maybe $10 off, $15 off, a dinner for free, whatever. You know they're not coming in by themselves. They're bringing a group of people, and everyone loves to be taken care of on their birthday. Gift certificates and promotions. People use gift certificates all the time, not just for holidays. And I'm going to tell you, if you're not promoting gift certificates in your restaurant, start doing so right now. They are basically the most requested item on someone's gift list at all times a year. And basically, when someone buys a gift certificate for someone, they're actually they're promoting your restaurant right then and there. And I could go into, that's a whole section on its own. If you need help promoting gift certificates, please give me a call. But if you're not doing it, you're really losing out on a very, very lucrative revenue stream. And of course, we just talked about catering information. Let people know what you offer, and let them know there's always people looking for rehearsal dinners. There's always people looking for showers, retirement parties. So you need to, if you can have everything in the world, but if no one knows you have it, then 10 to 1, you still have it. So, what now? Let's review. First of all, in this webinar, we talk about you need to make time to get out of your restaurant. So what now? Think about the first event you're going to go to. And if you need someone to take you and hold your hand, I am more than welcome to, I would more than be happy to do it for you because I know how intimidating it can be. You want to find and connect with local businesses that will offer what you need. So if businesses need catering, then make sure you reach out to them, look for them at the networking events, build relationships with Ulster Tourism and other organizations that can help you build your business and attract a steady flow of new customers, and open a direct line of communication with your customers by using email. And once again, you need to stay in touch, and this whole webinar series has been based on building relationships, and you got to start somewhere. And basically that concludes the 3-part webinar series. But before you go, I want to say something. We covered so much material. Is that true, Tim? I mean, you've been here all 3 webinars. That's what I have here, a lot. As a restaurant owner, it's a lot to put on your plate when you are dealing with the everyday operations of running your restaurant. And you should not have to feel like Superman and all of a sudden be able to implement everything we talked about. It's overwhelming. Social media took me well over a year to learn, and how to connect it to email marketing. It's really a job in itself. But every day that you don't do something, you are not being as profitable as you can be. And you're not moving your business forward. And just as Rick talked about, all this stuff, those restaurants that are doing things right that you always hear about, this is part of, all this is part of what they're doing. If you think that you can use some help to get this ball rolling and start feeling accomplished and realize more money in your pocket, consider giving me a call and see how you can get started. That's what I do. And it all starts with a conversation. It all starts with a phone call. It's all about your needs. But I think you'll feel much better, and you can come away from these 3 webinars feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's way too much. So you do what you do, running a restaurant. Well, let me help you in the places that you could use help. And I want to thank everyone for attending. This was really wonderful.
Great. Thank you, Janet, and thank you, Rick. Thanks for joining us. I'll just conclude us by saying this is the final in the 3 series. We have already posted the recordings for the first 2 sessions. They're up online at ulstercountyny.gov/restaurant_webinars. You can also find them. We'll send an email after today's session to everybody who registered, and we'll provide slides from Janet and then also a link to the recording of the past 2 sessions and of today's session. Before you leave, I'm going to put a poll up on the GoToWebinar screen, just a really quick feedback poll. Please take a moment to respond to the poll and provide us your feedback on today's session. It'll go up in just a second here. All right, the poll's up. Please take a second to vote. And again, we appreciate your time, and thanks to our presenters, Janet and Rick. Thanks for coming.
This was fun.